Good morning, friends. I wish to share another experience of mine with you today. This is again has taken place in control systems group of ECL where I worked for nearly 20 years. This was a typical problem. At that time, the Department of Defense has given ECL a contract to supply the communication equipment and for the Tankodrome project. Tankodrome project was similar to the first project for which the electronic digital computer was used. The first electronic digital computer, as you know, is ENIAC. That ENIAC was used for Aberdeen testing grounds and gunner training center. The gunners will be ready, poised to shoot, and the targets would rise up and fall down at random intervals or with specified intervals, and with a lot of combinations are there, 3 4 combinations of target, and the gunners have to strike at the targets within the allowed time. The only difference in our tankodrome is it is tankers training. Tanks, the battle tanks will be moving from the starting place to the ending place, and the targets have to rise up and fall. ECL supplied the control equipment and also the communication equipment, everything. And then there is a software and computer interface whereby the targets would rise and fall. There is one way is automatic, the program is set and the targets will be rising and falling at preset intervals in the program, and the gunners will be trained on that. Then there is the other option, manual. The initially for initial training is automatic program, predictable. Second is manual, that is there will be a commanding officer sitting in the control tower in the fifth floor, and from there he will be raising the targets and making them fall at whatever intervals and for whatever duration that he wants. And that computer program was also supplied by ECIL. Now, control equipment hardware ECIL is masters, and they supplied very good equipment, and it is working perfectly. When it came to software ECL also was experts, but somehow they have given this contract to DCM Data Products at that time. So they came and developed a program, and that was working well. But only thing, the Department of Defense at the last moment wanted that this program must be run by 3 people at the same time. That is, actually the tanks were moving in 3 lines, and so there is a left flank and right flank and middle flank. So 3 people sit at these 3 places, and they keep raising and falling the targets, and tank in the particular lane must hit them. That is the training. So to do that, from the same computer, two additional terminals and the main terminal, with these three it was supposed to work. But the communication antenna and the communication equipment was only one set. So every communication has to go through one antenna and received by the 3 lanes, 3 targets. In the 9 targets are so over there, 3 3 3. The total distance is about 5 kilometers, and the whole thing will be done in less than 10 minutes. The tanks travel at a speed of 10, 15 to 30 kilometers per hour. And if the total distance is 5, so if it goes at 15 kilometers per hour, the whole thing will be done in 30 minutes. Or if it goes at 30 kilometers per hour, the whole thing will be done in less than 10 minutes. So they were not able to do that. They were able to do it only from one terminal. And DCM software engineer who came and developed the program, he developed it in a manner, and the speed was insufficient, and the tanks were simply going, and it was not hitting the targets. The testing itself failed. Then he just left. DCM people dropped the contract, and then they looked for inside talent. Nobody was willing to take the project. A software engineer failed, and nobody touches failure. Failure is an orphan. They said, we don't know this kind of programming, we don't know this kind of programming, we never did this kind of programming, we are not experts in it. If you train us, we will do. There is no one to train. Who will train? This is the first attempt. Then they caught hold of me. They said, why don't you look at this? I did not know the history because I never was involved in this. Then I went and said, okay, I'll definitely take a look. When I went and looked, I came to know about the history. And then I resigned from the ECL at that time. My notice period started. So I said, I don't have enough time to do research and do this. So therefore, please release me from this project and give it to somebody else. Then the powers that be commented that Murali Krishna is ungrateful. He has taken the salary, he has developed here, and he wants to run away at the first drop of difficulty. When I heard the comments, I said, okay, I will do this somehow. So first time when I opened the program, I got scared because it was the one of the worst pieces of code I have seen. There were no commenting, no inline documentation, there is no offline documentation what the program does, there is no design document, and the code is too long. I don't know what that code is doing. And the piece of code that was doing something was only hardly 30 lines. The rest of the code is nothing. So this time I went in deeply and analyzed and started commenting out all the useless code. One of the worst things the coding practice I have seen is the the boy who did the coding declared 150 variables. I don't know why. It was a 256 kilobyte PC running a Genix operating system. That was Genix was the Microsoft flavor of Unix, and it was running that operating system. And he declared all variables. It was written in C and C without commenting. So I did not know why all those variables were used. Each variable I had to check and delete it. It was a hell of a lot of work, except declaration where whichever was not used, I had to delete it. I deleted most of the variables, declared variables which are not used at all, I eliminated. Many places like counters, they can be reused. And he was using a separate counter at every loop and every place. Actually, we need only one loop. He created so many loops, I removed all that. And then what is the function? They create a data file with the program. Each line contains the target number and the mode of target lifting and falling and the time duration. Like this, 6 variables also are there for each line. Those 6 variables have to be read, and they had to be fed to the communicator. The rest is taken over by hardware. Or when they enter manual mode, when they press keys, that variable has to be taken and that variable has to be communicated. Now the problem is that when two terminals are running, they cannot run the same program because it is not a multi-user program. Program is a single user program. Whoever spawns it will have the security rights. Other person cannot access that program. He has to run it separately. There is another instance of the same program. But that instance of the program and this instance of the program cannot access the same communication protocol. So there must be a common program which should be running in the background and receiving input from these three. So how can one process communicate to the other? There are only two sources. One is through a data file. A data file has to be read, closed, read, closed, read, closed, and the data file takes time opening the data file, closing the data file, reading from it, and then communicating, sending this to the port. That takes time. So the exercise by the time the right line command is given and it comes to the left line, the left line would have crossed the target. That's not acceptable. So the other way is to keep the whole thing in the RAM. If we keep the whole thing in the RAM must be accessible from all the three terminals, all the three. And how will the same piece of RAM be accessible from the three terminals? Because the security keeps one process away from the other process RAM. So I had to go through the entire manual how to achieve this, because operating system shares memory. So there must be some facilities. So system calls must be there. I read the whole Genix manual and the system calls that are there, and I found out, yeah, there is something called a shared memory, and the shared memory can be used. And once we keep the shared memory in the background in a process and is accessible to all the three terminals, then they can communicate. So the Genix manual, as usual for the operating manuals and user manuals of Microsoft, they really do not reflect the reality of the system. The program, the documentation for the shared memory is sketchy. It was just 1.5 pages, and there is no standard books available on how to use shared memory. This operating systems firmware concepts are all locked up in the companies. They don't share this knowledge. So I had to make do with this 1.5 pages of manual and do that. I tried for about a week on how to run the shared memory and get the three terminals to share it. And I followed the manual to the T. No, it did not work, because in the manual the Microsoft had mentioned that the shared memory is really shareable. Multiple processes can use it at the same time. It is a shared resource. Shared memory is a shared resource, not a dedicated resource. And I worked, and 1 week of testing did not achieve what is required. So finally, during the weekend, I was thinking on this problem. When I was relaxing in my home, I had a first suspicion that the manual may be wrong in describing that shared memory as a shared resource. It may be dedicated resource. That is, shared memory is like a flat file which can be opened by any process, but it has to be closed before other process can access it. So next day eagerly I went, and whenever each process accessed it and took the variables from it, closed it, and next let the next process take it. So because this is in RAM, the opening, closing, and accessing and communicating, this is all done at the minimum response times and access times. It has worked well. And therefore then I said I made a new process which runs in the background, and that process will be polling each of the three processes if there is anything in the RAM, shared memory. If anything is in the shared memory, it will immediately communicate. Otherwise, it will close the memory, and periodically it will be polling it. Whenever the process has to access it, it accesses it and then closes it. So in this manner, when I solved the problem, it took me about 15 days. 15 days of programming. I corrected the code. I removed the trash declaration of variables, commented out the trash declaration of variables, I commented out the trash code. I made it a compact code, and then gave the documentation in the form of flowchart for this maintenance, and then I trained a couple of people on using the software and maintaining the software. And then it was about 10 days of my relieving time was left. At that time, they say handed over the program and they tested it with the hardware. It was working fine. It was working better than the earlier piece of code, because it has become compact, the footprint was less, and everything is happening from the RAM. And also I did not keep the data in the file. I read it at one stroke and kept it an array, a two-dimensional array. I kept it, and from the array I had been reading and it is very, very fast. The array, the data is in the RAM, the shared memory is in the RAM, the program that communicates with the communicator is running in the background. Everything is in RAM, so it was happening very quickly and very satisfactorily. They said it is not enough. You go to the site of Tankodram drone and install it, demonstrate it to the end users, the military officers, and then come back and get relieved. I said, I'm in the leaving time. I cannot go. I will not get any advance from the finance to go on tour. They said, no problem. We will arrange for that. And they said, raise a request for advance. I raised a request for advance, and the finance rejected it. You are in notice time. How can I give you advance? You come back and submit the bill, and we will sanction it. I did not have that much money. I had to stay there for about a week, and it is a god-forsaken place. This kind of training centers are not in the middle of the city. They are in forests where nobody can access it by road or anything. We have to go by military jeep or walk. There is no other way, and there is strict security. So our executive director personally authorized the advance. He said, I am taking responsibility, pay the advance. They paid the advance. We went there and we demonstrated it successfully. I sat in the control tower on the 5th floor, overlooking the total Tankodrome area, and then the whole thing was demonstrated. A major and a colonel tested the system from the three terminals. I was manning the central terminal, and they were manning the left and right terminals. The central terminal drives the central row of tanks, and the left terminal drives the left row of the tanks, and the right terminal drives the right row of the tanks. And they all went successfully. The targets were rising on the right time, and they were standing for the right size, and the time was very acceptable. Even before the tanks could move, the targets were rising and falling, so they were very happy. I installed it, I demonstrated it, I trained the people in maintaining it, and then came back 1 week before my relieving time. And that 1 week I spent in obtaining no juice certificate from various agencies, submitted, and at the end of the month I got relieved. This is a very typical experience, and of course this kind of problem, of course they were there whenever there is a problem which nobody wants to touch, and it is associated with failure and people run away. I was the man at all places. Some more experience I will share with you. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye.